What's up, guys? So today I'm going to be reviewing the Last of Us TV show. The first episode dropped on HBO Max on Sunday. I meant to do it yesterday, but basically I just procrastinated essentially. But I did rewatch it a second time to get ready for this review. So let's go on and talk about The Last of Us. Now, I do want to keep this in mind. I played the first game of The Last of Us. I tried to play the second one. It wasn't for me. And no disrespect to people that did like part two. If you guys like part two, that's awesome. It wasn't my kind of game, with some decisions in that game that I really don't agree with, and it was just kind of depressing after that, and I didn't really want to play it anymore. I mean, I'll probably play it again at some point. I might stream it on my streaming channel if that's something you guys would want to see, because I never played the rest of that. So if that's something you guys want to see, let me know. I'll consider that. But yeah, keep in mind I've played the first game, so I know pretty much what happens. But I'm not going to get into spoilers of the game because I know there's a lot of people that haven't played the games and have introduced to the show, like the world of The Last of Us with this show. I'm going to get into spoilers for this episode, so if you haven't watched the first episode, go watch the first episode, and then you can come back to this video. This first episode makes it, without a doubt, the best video game adaptation of all time. This breaks the video game curse that we've had for the last years, essentially. All started, I think, with the Super Mario Brothers movie back in the early 90s. So, yeah, we come a long way. I mean, the Sonic movies, those work well. I really enjoy the Sonic movies because it respects the source material. So, that kind of broke the curse as well, but this one definitely does it again. And it makes sense since Neil Druckmann is involved with this. He's the director of the two games, and he's involved with this one. And Craig Mason, I think that's how you say his last name. He did Chernobyl for HBO, and so he went on to do The Last of Us, which this is a great pairing, and I had a lot of faith in this show. And of course, we got the news of Pedro Pascal playing Joel, with perfect. Like, everyone in the cast is perfect, and I was a little iffy on Bella Ramsey as Ellie when she was first announced, and I think a lot of people were. But as soon as she was on screen, she was Ellie, and so she was just great in the role. Like, you could tell, like, she really studied the character of Ellie, and she's great. And so I'm very impressed with Bella Ramsey in this series so far. And this is the first episode, so we got to keep that in mind. I really hope. I do think it's gonna be good, but I really hope it's good. But yeah, this such a great first episode, and the opening. Even though I knew what was gonna happen with Sarah, I still felt it. You know, the lead up, and when it got to her death, it got me, man. Like, it still hurt. It was just, the acting was fantastic from Pedro Pascal, and Gabriel Luna. I don't think I talked about him. Him as Tommy is just fantastic. I remembered seeing Gabriel Luna as Ghost Rider at Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and when I found out he was involved in this, I got so excited. And his first introduction on screen, like, I knew he was going to be fantastic, and he is fantastic in the show, and I can't wait till we see him again. But yeah, Gabriel Luna, fantastic. And Pedro Pascal is so perfect as Joel. Just the acting all around from everyone, the performances are great. They do change some things from the game into this show. Like, there's no spores in this show, so you don't have to wear like a gas mask. I think it's sort of like a fungus type of infection, which isn't really something I'm really mad about. I really like what they're going with in the show, especially with like the old lady. When you see that stuff in her mouth, like, it's definitely a lot more terrifying in my opinion on that. And yeah, I'm excited to see like the clickers and stuff and the rest of the show. But yeah, it makes me look forward to seeing more of the infected, and I think definitely in the second episode, once we get in that, we'll be introduced to the clickers and the bloaters and stuff like that. I know we're supposed to get some new type of infected that's not in the game, but in this show is like an introduction, but I forget what it's called, but it's something completely new. But I'm not sure when we'll get that in the show, but we'll see on that. So we get a 20-year time jump, and if you played the game, you know where this is going. It's played almost like it is in the game. Even Marlene, even the actress that played Marlene in the game, she's actually in this playing Marlene, which I think is really cool I think it made sense because out of all the voice actors in the game, she was the one that looked more like herself in the game. So I think that made a lot of sense. And so I like that. And one thing that I was curious about was, so right when we get to the 20 years later part, there's a kid that we see that's wandering, and he gets to Boston, and they do that they check his temperature, and it says he's infected, but he never turned. So I guess what that's saying is, so Ellie's immune. There's gotta be more people like her, which wasn't something that they did in the games, which I think is interesting that they're doing it in the show, because he wasn't like turned or anything. It said he was infected, but I guess there's more people like Ellie out there. And so then we get to the ending part where they find out, Joel and Tess find out that Ellie is immune, and that scene was just fantastic. It was like almost ripped straight out of the game, exactly. And even like, oh, I didn't even mention this, the camera work, when Sarah, Tommy, and Joel are in the truck, that was ripped straight out of the game. I freaking love that scene. Just, it worked so well. Once they got into the town, just like the hand camera, just like looking around, like it was ripped straight out of the game, and I respected that so much. But I forgot to mention that earlier, but I wanted to mention that now. So the guard is almost about to shoot Joel, and of course Joel is getting a flashback of Sarah dying and them getting shot, and he's been thinking 20 years on how he could have handled it differently, and he finally does what he wished he'd done 20 years ago. He's been thinking about this for 20 years, and he just straight up beats the guard to death, something that he's been wanting to do for 20 years. And the camera work on that was fantastic, because in the background you see Ellie, she's looking, and she knows now to trust Joel. So it establishes that trust that Joel and Ellie are going to have already in this first episode. And so I love the way they handled it. And the best thing for me, this is just for me. So for those that don't know, I'm a huge fan of Depeche Mode. And they played Depeche Mode at the very end of this episode. And so, yeah, it's like they knew I was going to watch the show. So, yeah, I love that they played Never Let Me Down Again by Depeche Mode. And, yeah, that was just something for me that I enjoyed. But overall, this such a great first episode. And I'm excited to see the rest of this series. And, yeah, this is without a doubt the best game adaptation for sure. And if you guys want me to make more videos on The Last of Us, like I'll talk about each episode, or I may just wait till the whole season ends and then talk about the whole season as a whole, or I may talk about them when the episodes drop. I'll think about it, but whatever you guys want me to do, I'll keep that in mind, and I'll consider which one you guys want me to do. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this review of the episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I have another video coming up about Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League. There was this leak that came out about it that I'm not really too happy about, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I got that video coming up. It'll probably be up later today, so yeah, I'm going to edit this and upload it and get that video going as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys next time.